Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Illusions Exist show, the pyrrho show, which I do for you. Not myself, if that's what you were thinking. Actually, it is for myself. That's why I've never monetized. What? No, if you monetized, then you'd be doing it for yourself. No, if I monetized, I'd be claiming to do it for you and want money in return. But I don't. So here's my thoughts on Brexit. Really not Brexit. Actually, it's on one little thing, but it brings up Brexit. And they're debating Brexit, and I watched it today for a while. I was watching them debate some of the amendments to the bill, or whatever you would call their resolution over there, to prohibit a no-deal Brexit. Now, I saw a headline saying that that bill had passed. So I don't know what they're debating right now. I got to get to work. I had things to do today, so now it's like coming on 4 o'clock, and I'm going to start working. And I'm going to get my 8-hour day in between now and, probably 1 or 2. So, I actually love these kind of days where I don't have to be around during business hours and stuff. I like working late. So, anyway. So, I will tell you a little bit on my views on Brexit, but the real issue is that they keep saying, they said in the debate I was talking about earlier, I've heard this before from Brexit supporters, that to have another referendum on Leave Remain would, fly in the face of democracy. And I don't get that. I mean, that vote was 3 years ago. There's nothing in democracy that says that you can't change your mind. I mean, I would think, go ahead and have the resolution, vote on it again. See if you change your mind. I don't see how that would violate a principle of democracy. I see how if the if the Parliament were to overrule that referendum and just ignore it and say nope, that would be a violation of democracy. But doing the vote again, let's say they vote on it 5 times. I mean, yeah, if you really want to do it, then every time it should come out the same. And if you're going back and forth and waffling, it's just like for an individual. If you can't decide, I don't know what you do. Should I climb that mountain? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Well, maybe not today. That itself would be a reason for the no, as far as you ask me. So I don't see why you couldn't, you might get to a point where, but we're voting on it every day and they're just waiting for us to get the no vote or the yes vote, and then they're going to, okay, well, we have representational democracy. That has not happened yet. There was one vote. It was years ago. And, of course, there's a continual the struggle over things. Democracy is not about you had a final decision. It's not about you have to do what people 3 years ago said. It's not anything like that. You can go back to the people, as far as I'm concerned. And, I mean, I'm telling you my opinion, but also, as per usual, it's a question. I mean, I'm curious. I don't understand. To me, it's just a matter of people that are for Brexit, don't want to do the vote again because it was so close. Yeah, they might lose this time. It's a pretty big decision. I think it could be done multiple times. But here's my view on Brexit. I don't have an opinion. I know the way people think, all your ciderism, you're going to think, hey, Pyrrho thinks Sargon's a moron, and he thinks, Trump is a con man, and they're for the Brexit, so he's probably against the Brexit. I'm not against the Brexit. I mean, my official position is that it's up to them. How would I vote? Well, it's hard for me to know how I would vote. I think that it's probably a nice thing for someone my age that was suddenly able to work and travel without visas or anything or any sort to, well, I don't know if it's of no sort, but I'm pretty sure you can just go take a job in another part of Europe. That's pretty nice. I mean, that expands basically the places you can go work tenfold. Maybe not literally because you don't want to go work in some of those places if you're from the UK, but basically. So who knows how I'd personally vote, but nominally I'm for these kind of things. Just like, in high school I was telling people, hey, you don't have to Doesn't have to be a majority of people that'll elect the president. What? But that's impossible, though. But okay, technically, and these kinds of things, and the dissolution of countries is a part of that whole sphere of things that used to be weird that actually could happen, that in the long run you kind of think are going to happen. And so we saw, the Soviet Union and former Yugoslavia, right, broke up, Czechoslovakia. Well, correct me in the comments for the examples, but whatever, we had examples. And I've said that if we can't get along in the U.S., I believe it should be easier to be federated. Like to have a Brexit where they still have free trade and all of that stuff. Why not? If people are getting antsy, it's like you don't have to start shooting at each other when you're getting a divorce. You can start by just keeping to your own parts of the house. And if that doesn't work, then move to different houses. And then you say, I miss you, and you can move back together. You should be somewhat sane and not too bipolar about it, I would say. But I think it would be nice if that was an easy thing. So nominally, I am for people that want to disassociate. Now, I'm worried, in the world we're in, where, we could, who knows, maybe we'll have another world war starting in Europe. I mean, nothing's really impossible. Seemed impossible for a while. But nothing's really impossible. You don't want the fighting to become violent. There's certain times where maybe worries like that should drive, your action. But let's say we're not really worried about that, because I personally, again, I'm not from Europe or the UK, but I don't think the UK doing a Brexit is going to lead to any sort of war in Europe, right? So it might be an economic downturn, which as an American, might strengthen American companies. I mean, who knows how it'll affect America? It might destroy the whole world economy. I've heard all of the above. So I definitely support the idea. I definitely think it's good to be giving that to vote to the people. And I think it's legitimate to have followed through on it without another referendum. But you see how difficult it has been for them for whatever reasons. And why didn't Boris Johnson run for the leadership whenever it was that May took over? I saw one of the, what do they call them, the PMs, suggest putting the current deal, I think she meant Theresa May's deal, that basically was like the soft exit where, we're going to stay in the same house, but you just stay downstairs, I'll stay upstairs, or whichever way. You stay in that east wing, I'll be in the west wing. And there would be a lot of free travel and free economics still. And to put that and Remain on a new referendum. I don't know if they should do that or not. If they were hiring me for my advice, I'd say, yeah, I mean, why not? There's nothing anti-democratic about, asking again. Asking the people again. I mean, if it has a close call, it says people are very confused about democracy and what it means to win. But then they're confused about even what sports leagues, what it means when you win in a sports league. They act like their Super Bowl champion team from their town is now the universe's leader, and they get to act like it'll be that way forever, at least till halfway through the next season. We can just, these are the champions forever. And it's not like that. It's like, in America, you don't need a majority to get the president.